Hey Shane, you're an IBM greybeard with over 30 years experience leading technology-enabled innovations, focusing on transformation and platforming ecosystems for exponential inclusive growth. So if we apply this thinking to Africa, what's possible?
So let's start with our mission. Our mission is to accelerate the creation and platforming of broad-based African-owned digitized ecosystems with the creation of our own inclusive African-owned FAMGAs, so Facebook, Alibaba, Microsoft equivalents, ultimately for shared value and exponential growth. So what do we mean by platforming ecosystems? Essentially, we need for affordability and access across Africa, for all small, medium, micro enterprises, for all startups and entrepreneurs, we effectively need, first of all, a common purpose so that we can galvanize energy and focus and direction around a common direction, something that we can all buy into. The second important part of platforming the ecosystem is to effectively digitize all participants. In today's world, a significant, literally trillions of dollars are being spent by large, established corporates and organizations around the world, both public and private. What is not transpiring is the digitization and transformation of small, medium, micro enterprises. So in terms of platforming ecosystems, we have to digitize all participants. That would then enable us to facilitate the exchange of value across those participants, including peer-to-peer interaction. Once we've achieved that, we're then in a position to be able to create shared and inclusive extraction and creation of value. When we look at extraction, there's a lot of existing capacity, resource, skill, capability that is untapped today, right now, in our townships, in our small, medium, micro enterprises, and frankly, in the large corporates and governments as well. By digitizing the ecosystem, we can extract a lot of wasted value. That value can then be redirected into starting to create net new value and ultimately create the growth aspects of the ecosystem. And ultimately, what we need to get to is the ability to scale exponentially. If we continue to do one by one and trying to just engage at a transaction function product level only, will never create the exponential growth and value we need to ultimately employ literally millions and millions and millions of people. So critically, we need that growth, and we need it to scale massively.
I have to say that's where I'm frustrated is, we're doing these things one at a time, one entity at a time, transactionally. We have to find a way to scale this. So what else do we need to do?
So importantly, to create that exponential growth, we need to create these network effects. So we have to understand that we need some patient capital. We need to get big enough economies of scale that allows affordability to be built into the price of participating and engaging. And that entails thinking future and then next. What most people are doing today is they look at exactly where we are today and they look at the next step. We have to do some forward extrapolation of the future and then design for that based on an assumed economy of scale, which again drives affordability, the demonetization, and that allows people to participate. For economies of scale, we need large ecosystems, large networks, and that's where the small micro enterprises actually become the critical participants in these networks and ecosystems. In order for them to participate, we cannot again transact with them one by one. We need to digitize them. We need to standardize them. We need to productize the small, medium enterprises. And then we need to be able to aggregate and orchestrate value exchange between one to many, many to many, and many to one.
And what an awesome and amazing opportunity to lead.
I think one more component as to what it is we're doing to enable these large platforming of ecosystems is we need to disrupt the current very linear innovation ecosystem. So if we look at both funding from venture capital and we look at incubators and accelerators, they are very linear typically in their approach. So they will take one startup at a time, they will engage with one SME at a time. So what we are doing is effectively bringing exponential to the innovation ecosystem that allows us to create what we call an innovation factory that aggregates and accelerates the building of marketplaces and platform economies at scale, in parallel, and rapidly, in order to address the needs of the continent and to allow much faster realization of value for everybody.
So we're going to explore this with Jeff Booth tomorrow at 5 p.m. CAT. That's Thursday, the 11th of March at 5 p.m. CAT. Join us. We really are. There's a lot of excitement building to this event, and thanks so much, Shane.
Thank you very much.